Welcome to Dream Big Stories. Each night, we take you on a journey, not to fantasy, but into the true stories of those who rose from hardship to greatness. Tonight, we tell the story of a girl who was once so silent, she thought no one could ever hear her. And yet, she would grow up to become the most powerful voice on television. This is the story of Oprah Winfrey. And if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to Dream Big Stories, where real-life dreams unfold every night. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Girl in the Sack Dress. Born on January 29, 1954, in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, Oprah. Gail Winfrey was the daughter of a teenage maid and a soldier she barely knew. Her early years were spent with her grandmother, Hattie Mae, in a house with no electricity or running water. She played in red clay dirt, drank from a well, and wore dresses made from potato sacks, something her classmates would later mock her for. But even then, she had a spark. At 3 years old, she was already speaking full sentences. By 5, she was reciting Bible verses in church. Not just reciting, but performing. People didn't just hear the words, they felt them. It was in those tiny churches of Mississippi that the world first heard the voice of Oprah Winfrey. Chapter 2. Lost in Silence. At 6 years old, Oprah was sent north to live with her mother in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The city was loud. The apartment was small. The love, missing. Her mother, Vernita, worked long hours cleaning homes. Oprah was often left alone, or worse, in the company of people who would cause her harm. Between the ages of 9 and 14, Oprah was sexually abused by multiple family members and acquaintances. She never told anyone. "I didn't know it was wrong," she later said. "I just thought I was dirty." She buried the trauma, hiding behind books and her imagination. Reading was her escape. She'd devour Maya Angelou, Dickens, Shakespeare. Every word was a lifeline. At 14, she ran away from home. That same year, she became pregnant. Her baby died shortly after birth. It could have been the end of her story, but somehow it wasn't. Chapter 3. A Strict Father, A New Path. Oprah was sent to live with her father, Vernon Winfrey, in Nashville. A barber by trade, Vernon was strict, even harsh, but he cared. He made her read a book a week, write reports, recite speeches, and work at the family shop. He gave her discipline, and something she hadn't felt in years: safety. Oprah began to thrive. She joined the speech team, won a state oratory contest, and earned a full scholarship to Tennessee State University. At 17, she won Miss Black Tennessee. That led to her first job, reading the news on the local radio. Her voice, still soft, but growing stronger, was now reaching thousands. Chapter 4. Too emotional for the news. By 19, she became the youngest and first black female news anchor at WLAC-TV in Nashville. But not everyone appreciated her style. She didn't read the news like others. She felt it. She cried when stories were sad. She asked too many follow-up questions. She cared too much. Executives told her she was too emotional for the news. Eventually, she was moved to a morning talk show in Baltimore called People Are Talking. At first, she saw it as a demotion. But what seemed like a step down became her stepping stone. Chapter 5. The Show That Changed Everything. In 1984, Oprah was hired to host a low-rated show in Chicago, AM Chicago. Within months, ratings soared. Her warmth, curiosity, and emotional intelligence made her magnetic. She wasn't trying to be famous. She was trying to understand, trying to connect, trying to heal. By 1986, the show was renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show, and for the next 25 years, it became the most influential talk show in history. Millions tuned in, not just for celebrity interviews, but for stories of survivors, dreamers, authors, teachers, everyday heroes. Oprah gave the microphone to those who'd never had one. Chapter 6: Beyond the Camera. But Oprah was never just a host. She launched her own production company, Harpo Studios, Oprah spelled backward, becoming the first Black woman to own and produce her own nationally syndicated show. She started Oprah's Book Club, turning unknown authors into instant bestsellers. She co-founded O, the Oprah magazine, reaching millions of women each month. She acted in and produced films like The Color Purple, Beloved, and Selma. She built a school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. And she gave, quietly, constantly, over $400 million to education, disaster relief, mental health programs, and more. Chapter 7: What You Might Not Know. Behind the brand is a woman who never married, who never had children, not because she couldn't, but because she chose to give herself to the world in a different way, who still battles self-doubt, who once considered suicide as a teen, who struggled with her weight for decades, not just as a health issue, but as an emotional one, and who once said, "I still have a little girl inside me, wondering if I'm good enough." That honesty is what made her powerful. Not perfection, but presence. Chapter 8: A Voice That Heals. What makes Oprah Winfrey special isn't her money, fame, or awards. It's her compassion. She listens better than most people speak. She doesn't try to fix. She makes space. She doesn't just talk. She witnesses. Through her own healing, she gave millions permission to begin theirs. Gentle music returns. And that was the story of Oprah Winfrey, a girl from Mississippi who rose from silence and shame to become a voice the world was waiting for. If her story moved you, consider subscribing to Dream Big Stories. Every night, we share the stories of dreamers, doers, and those who dared to believe. Sleep well, and remember, even the most broken voices can grow strong enough to change the world. Good night.